Welcome to the Nile Campus Zero Trust Training. In this session, we'll explore how Nile is transforming campus network security by embedding zero trust principles directly into the network fabric. Rather than relying on fragmented tools or legacy constructs, Nile reimagines campus networking with security built in by default. Let's start with what we see across organizations today. Traditional network architectures are plagued by overly permissive access, where users and devices can often reach more than they should. Privileges are tied to constructs like VLANs, which inherently assume trust based on connection point, not identity. These architectures are built on decades-old principles, and as a result, struggle to support today's hybrid, mobile, and IoT-rich environments. Organizations also deal with separate zero-trust implementations for cloud and campus, creating operational silos and policy inconsistencies. Add to that the complexity of integration between multiple tools and manual change management, and you're left with a brittle system that's hard to scale and even harder to secure. Let's talk about why traditional networks fall short of true zero-trust security. On the left, we've highlighted core principles from the NIST Zero Trust framework. Things like denying implicit trust, continuously authenticating and authorizing access, and enforcing just-in-time, least privilege access. These principles are foundational to building secure, identity-aware environments. Now, contrast that with what we see in most traditional architectures on the right. First, network constructs like VLANs inherently imply trust. If a device is connected to the right VLAN, it's assumed to be safe. This violates the deny by default principle. There's no host-based isolation, and intra-VLAN traffic typically isn't inspected. Second, NAX solutions, which many organizations still rely on, are overly complex, outdated, and require deep expertise just to operate. They don't offer the agility or granularity needed to enforce zero trust at scale. Third, firewalls may be in place, but they often can't inspect or control lateral movement within the network, especially traffic inside VLANs. And finally, static policies don't adapt when users change location, devices, or roles. You need dynamic, context-aware enforcement, and traditional tools simply weren't built for that. So even when zero trust is technically adopted, these gaps mean it's rarely enforced the way it should be, leaving organizations vulnerable to lateral movement, misconfigurations, and security drift. With Nile, zero trust principles aren't bolted on or patched together. They're built directly into the fabric of the network, across the entire Nile service block. Let's start at the base, with infrastructure, secured hardware, encrypted communications, and absolutely no access. From the moment it powers on, every element is protected, reducing the attack surface and blocking both internal and external threats by design. Next, at the access level, dynamic authentication replaces static credentials. Every user and device is continuously validated, closing the door to social engineering attacks. And finally, at the policy level, every device and user is isolated by default, preventing the spread of malware and eliminating the implicit trust baked into legacy VLANs. In short, Nile delivers zero trust that's built in, not bolted on. No add-ons, no complex overlays. Just security, simplified and enforced everywhere. Nile's zero trust approach is built from the hardware layer up. For example, each device uses Secure Boot with a TPM chip to verify integrity at startup. All device-to-device traffic is protected with MACsec encryption to prevent tampering. Software and patches are automatically applied via cloud management. There's no direct access to any Nile device, no SSH, no console, not even for our engineers. Meanwhile, all operational metrics, including CPU, memory, and CRC errors, are securely streamed to the Nile Control Center for complete visibility. Trust across the network is enforced through mutual authentication. Every Nile switch, access point, and controller verifies the identity of the other before communication is allowed. This applies to peer elements and to communication with the Nile Service Cloud. Traffic to the Nile cloud is exchanged over secure gRPC tunnels, leveraging TLS for encryption. Nile infrastructure deployed at the customer site initiates all tunnels as outbound-only connections. No inbound ports are ever open anywhere in the network. Combined with MACsec, this ensures full trust validation and encryption for every control and data plane flow. Nile's Zero Trust Access model enforces authentication and authorization at the port, ensuring only verified users and approved devices can connect. Access is always identity-aware, policy-driven, and continuously validated. For internal users, Nile supports 802, 1x-based access. Customers can use their own Radius server or the cloud-hosted Radius service provided by Nile. Single sign-on SSO integration allows users to authenticate to the network using the same credentials they use for enterprise applications, offering a seamless and familiar login experience. With SEIM, customers can sync user and group data from their identity provider to Nile, enabling dynamic provisioning and policy enforcement. For wired devices, Nile supports MAC-based authentication. Customers can define rules based on device type OUI or exact MAC address. For device type-based rules, Nile uses built-in fingerprinting to identify and classify devices, for example, allowing all macOS devices onto a specific segment. During brownfield deployments, customers can upload an Excel file to pre-approve MAC addresses and assign them to the correct network segments, streamlining the migration process. For IoT devices, Nile supports unique pre-shared key (UPSK) onboarding. Each device can be assigned a unique PSK by administrators, enabling secure connections for headless devices such as printers and conferencing equipment. We also support standard PSK SSIDs and PSK with SSO, depending on customer needs. For guest users, Nile provides a native captive portal with 3 secure authentication options: open access with terms and conditions, passcode-based authentication, email approval where internal users authorize guest access through a secure workflow. The portal is fully customizable, allowing organizations to apply their own branding, logos, and visuals. We also support redirection to external captive portals hosted in ClearPass or similar vendors that provide an external captive portal. For a more secure and scalable experience, Nile offers the Nile Guest Service, a fully automated solution that eliminates the need for external NAC infrastructure. Guest traffic is completely isolated from production networks and is tunneled to the closest Nile point of presence, POP, where it is securely handed off to the internet. To further enhance security, Nile Guest Service includes built-in URL filtering, allowing organizations to block unwanted or malicious websites and ensure a safe browsing experience for guests. Whether it's employees, IoT, or guests, Nile enforces zero trust access that is secure by default, dynamically managed, and context-aware at every step. Once a user or device is authenticated, what can they access? With Nile, the answer is nothing unless explicitly allowed. By default, every user and device is isolated from every other. There is no east-west communication, not even within the subnet or group. Communication is only permitted when a zero-trust policy explicitly allows it. Organizations can enforce this in 2 ways. Option 1, use your existing firewalls to enforce policies centrally. Option 2, use Nile's built-in access engine to define and enforce identity and context-based policies locally within the network. Let's explore both options. Option 1, Nile can forward all traffic to your firewall by default, creating a single point of enforcement. This approach allows existing IT teams to leverage their firewalls for policy enforcement, while still taking advantage of Nile's zero-trust architecture. Traffic can be allowed within or across subnets, as defined in the firewall rules. Most importantly, Nile shares user and device context over APIs, allowing you to write policies that go beyond IP addresses, such as identities, roles, or device types. With Option 2, you can enforce zero trust directly within the Nile network using our built-in access engine. Policies are defined by source group, users or devices; destination group, users, devices, or apps; action, allow, deny, forward to SSE or uplink, or log. Granular policies can be defined to allow or restrict communication within or across groups, all enforced inside the Nile service block without the need for external infrastructure. This approach is ideal for organizations seeking full zero-trust enforcement with maximum simplicity and minimal overhead. By integrating with cloud SSE solutions like Zscaler and Palo Alto Networks' Prisma Access, Nile extends zero trust beyond the campus. Traffic is seamlessly routed to the nearest SSE POP with tunnels automatically configured by Nile. This ensures secure, policy-based routing across all locations, delivering consistent protection and optimized performance. By eliminating complexity and automating tunnel setup, Nile provides a truly universal zero-trust experience that scales effortlessly across distributed environments. Nile takes a comprehensive approach to cloud security, ensuring that customer data remains protected at every stage. Data is encrypted both during transmission and while at rest, preventing unauthorized access or tampering. Identity and access management are tightly controlled through role-based policies and secure authentication processes, ensuring that only authorized users can interact with critical systems and data. Security is embedded across all layers of the cloud infrastructure, from the network to the application and data layers, providing a defense-in-depth approach. To further strengthen security, Nile leverages automated best practices that include continuous monitoring, threat detection, and rapid response mechanisms. These automated operations ensure consistent enforcement of security policies while maintaining system integrity. Nile's adherence to internationally recognized standards such as ISO 27001 and SOC 2 Type 2 validates that its processes and infrastructure meet the highest security and compliance benchmarks. When it comes to protecting customer data, Nile ensures complete separation between user identities and their activity, minimizing the risk of unauthorized access. All sensitive data is encrypted by default, safeguarding information and preserving confidentiality. Customers also have the flexibility to manage their own encryption keys with Nile's BYOK, bring your own key option, providing an additional layer of control over their data. To maintain the highest level of data privacy, Nile's support team cannot access customer data without explicit permission. This strict control ensures that only authorized actions take place, reinforcing customer confidence. Additionally, Nile complies with stringent regulations such as GDPR, CCPA, PCI, and HIPAA, ensuring that data is handled securely and responsibly across all operations. Beyond compliance, Nile strengthens its security posture through AI-driven threat detection and continuous monitoring, proactively identifying and mitigating risks in real time. This approach ensures ongoing protection while minimizing the possibility of data breaches. Modern SaaS architecture with CI/CD processes keeps the system resilient, ensuring consistent performance and security without manual intervention. By combining these advanced security protocols, Nile delivers a secure, scalable, and compliant cloud environment where customer data is always protected and operational excellence is maintained. Thank you for taking the time to explore how Nile is redefining zero trust for campus networks. From secure onboarding to built-in isolation and deep integrations with modern cloud security platforms, Nile eliminates complexity while delivering uncompromising security. We believe zero trust should be foundational, not an afterthought, and with Nile, it's built in from day one. If you have any questions or want to go deeper into any aspect of the trust service, we'd love to connect. Until then, stay secure, stay connected, and thank you again.